Hello, everyone. Welcome to Worlds Apart Words Together, where best friends share laughter, stories, and an unbreakable bond. We're here in episode 18, season 2, episode 2.
Woo!
It's pretty
You
exciting.
said that whole thing so confusing. You
I
sounded
mean,
so
I
confused.
was I was confused myself. I had to think what episode we were on, what season.
You're
Yeah.
like, these are English words, and I don't normally speak English anymore.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But we made it back. It's like the third week of January.
Dang, really? Yeah. No,
I
it's
think
like second.
I
Start of
think
third.
no, it's the third.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. We have 5 Mondays, I think, in January,
Yes,
which is
I believe so.
pretty stupid.
What wants to do? I don't know.
I don't know either. Um, well, today, Leah and
Today
I,
we get to talk about you.
yeah, it's gonna be an episode about me. How fun. This is where my narcissistic personality will come out.
Your ego's gonna get to your head, and your head's gonna blow up.
Yes, exactly. No, because this week we'll be talking about my goals in 2024, and Leah has some exciting questions for me, that I haven't heard yet,
Yeah,
and
I'm
we'll
super
get to
excited.
them. And then next week we're going to be talking about Leah's 2024 goals.
Yes.
And then
Very
the week after, we have a guest, which is going to be very exciting.
very exciting.
Yeah, I'm
Have
excited.
our first guest of 2024.
And the first guest, well, I don't see your brother really as a guest. He
First
was a guest.
first non-family related guest on
Yeah.
podcast. So
And
first like real guest, I guess you can say.
yeah,
Sorry,
someone who
but you don't count.
barely has any connections to us.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and I hope you all are excited too, because it'll be a special episode.
Yes,
The blog.
I think it's gonna be really exciting. Um
I think it will be, yeah.
heading into 2024 into uncharted territory.
Yes. Yes, we will.
Hopefully it's not awkward. It's like my worst nightmare that it becomes awkward.
Nah, I'm a pretty smooth talker when I have to. I'll just take a shot of whatever and get loose.
Like get some Malibu and then you'll be fine.
Dude, oh my God, we should do like a wine and talk episode or something like that. Where we're just, drinking some wine as we.
The problem is that it's in the middle of my day when we record this, and I
I don't
can't
care.
exactly just be like chugging wine over here.
Well, there's a difference in sipping wine and chugging wine.
Yeah,
Nobody told you to chug it.
that's fair. That's fair,
Yeah.
but still.
But as of my 2024, um, I thought
Yes.
about
What's your main goal? Your number one main overarching goal. What would you say would be kind of
I
the
want
theme?
um I want to keep track of all the books that I'm reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like a number in mind or just in general?
In general, I
Okay.
did download Goodreads, which I heard from a friend, and it's apparently Amazon owned, and you
Okay.
can like type in, it's this app.
Mm-hmm.
You can type in what book you're reading. They have like recommendations based on your likes and reads and all that stuff, and you can become friends with people, and you can see what they're reading, and you can also track your progress in reading. So like right now, I'm reading 2 books. I already finished one. I'm reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and I am 26% done.
Very nice.
And then I'm also reading Four Blind Mice by James Patterson. Um, yeah, you can put in what books you read in the past as well, but that was too much work. I put a goal of 30 books this year, which is kind of a lot. And I think it's not
That's like your goal. You kind of want to hit 36.
no 30,
Oh,
30.
30.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is like 2 books a month, which I'm not that quick of a reader when I think about it. I don't have that much time.
Do textbooks count?
I don't read textbooks. And I don't think articles count either. Otherwise, I would be done yesterday.
I don't know. You said you didn't really have like a number of goal, like a number goal for the amount of books.
No, I put 30 in the app, but I don't know.
And plus reading it on the app is different than just like reading. Like
No, no,
I
no.
want.
I mean, like, because I read physical books only. I cannot read from a screen.
Oh, so the app literally is just a tracker.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and it's funny because at the end of 2024, it'll see like how many pages in total I've read and what my most popular genre was. So it will like break it down. So by
Okay.
the end of 2024, I'll tell you all about all the things that I read this year.
Interesting. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. It also keeps you motivated to read. It's like I gotta hit my goal. And then I also put, along with that goal, I put that I wanted to read at least 10 pages if I do read before bed. Because I don't think it's doable to really read every night before bed because sometimes like I'm just tired or stuff
Yeah.
happens. But then if I do read, I want to read at least 10 pages.
Okay.
So
That's a decent amount.
I
Are they
think
like
so.
big pages or like more easy read
I
kind
mean,
of?
it depends on the book. Um, but right now with the Harry Potters, like they're not bad.
No, that's not bad.
And Harry Potter is a pretty easy read too. Um,
Yeah.
but still 10 pages is just enough to usually I
I'd
read
be asleep
more
in
anyways, but it's just to have a number in mind.
I wish I could like sit and read, but I just fall asleep.
No, I don't. For me to sleep, I really have to like lay down and tell myself to sleep.
That's fair. I don't know.
Yeah.
Reading is it's not a. I don't think I have found a fiction book series that I really like and therefore like always want to read to finish the book, to finish the series.
Fair.
So to me, reading's like if you're not reading to learn, then like I kind of just
Don't do it.
zone out. Well, no, like I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but like I used to read a lot, and that would do the same thing. Like I just fall asleep because I'm like, okay, so this isn't real and this isn't going anywhere, and okay, 2 pages in, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I'm not like that. I immerse
But
myself into the book to the point where I oftentimes dream about it.
yeah, see, I don't do that. I'm like, okay, that was pointless. Move on.
Yeah, no. Another goal I set is regarding fitness.
Okay.
I told you a while ago that I started running.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been easy.
Because you're running, let's be real.
Yeah, I hate running. It's absolutely disgusting. And especially because we are water people, like running is just not made for us.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get behind the whole running thing. I love the idea of it. I just
Yeah. So I told you that I was planning on basically adding 0.5 kilometers every week.
yeah.
Um, it's quite difficult because I kind of want to be feeling okay enough on like the kilometers that I'm at before I add them
Yeah.
so that I build it up and my body gets used to the running and I get
Do like a
used
half
to
a
that.
kilometer like every other week then.
Yeah, I'm right now kind of figuring out what I want to do, but I set a goal for myself that by the end of 2024, I want to be able to run like 7K comfortably.
Okay.
Because I was like 10K is a bit much. That's a big
7K is like what? 3 miles for those people?
I possibly.
I think it's like 3 miles.
It's about three. Yeah, maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
enough.
thought 7K is is a good like milestone for me.
Actually, it's 4.3.
Oh, pretty
So
good.
there you go. That's not bad. Might as well
Yeah.
just.
Um, so and I thought 5K is too little, so I just went like basically right in the middle. Um,
Yeah, that's fair.
so I'm gonna try to stick to that. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then my final goal I put for myself is, and in the blog I wrote too, like I feel like it's kind of um like obvious, but
Hmm.
I want to finish my master's degree
Hmm.
in a positive note or like in a positive way, whatever. And I want to find my first big girl job.
There you go. Very nice.
And even though it might be an obvious goal because I'm hopefully graduating, it's still something that I want to be successful
Thing
in.
always
I wanna,
happens that you want to keep striving for it.
yeah, like it's also not going to be something that just will be right in front of me. Like I'm going to have to put in work to find something suitable for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, but not really. None of that stuff I think is really truly fun.
It's so difficult.
Yeah, they in today's world, just the amount of hoops you have to go through, the amount of red tape you have to go through, the amount of just stupidness. Like, I don't understand. Like, they try to make it as hard as possible for you to get a job. Like, well, I just went through all this.
Yeah. I
So,
was actually talking to that girl about it today, and she was like, well, I want to, after graduation, probably find an internship to get some experience because every job nowadays requires you
mhm.
to have experience, but nobody allows you to gain experience.
Yeah,
I was like, that's fair. So I don't know, we'll see. These are kind of the goals that I set for myself in 2024, and I just want to continue to grow, I guess. And
do you have like a job? Like, you say you want to find your first job, like, big girl job, full-time job.
yeah,
Do you have one in mind that you kind of are looking for, or like a title or an encompassing like description? Or is it kind of just like whatever floats my way?
a little bit of both.
Okay,
I have ideas of what direction I want to go into, but also an opportunity needs to arise. Um,
that's fair.
I am still considering just applying for a PhD position because here it's a lot different than in the United States. It's just a teaching job, basically.
Yeah,
where you would do research for 80% of the time and teach 20% of the time. And I feel like a PhD would be that good middle step of like, yes, you're figuring shit out and you're doing something that interests you, but also you're learning to deal with the real world.
that's fair.
So that is something definitely that still has my interest, but I also know that it's very competitive and really hard to get into. So I'm just gonna keep my options open. I'm gonna reapply for that detective thing because new positions are gonna be opening
Yeah.
like next week.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so I'm just gonna keep multiple options open and see what comes my way. And if none of that works out, I'm just gonna scout the internet and see see what's available and what fits, my interest a little bit.
Very nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that because something could pop up that you weren't thinking about or
Didn't even know
didn't think was
existed.
yeah, didn't yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Anything
so
could
I'm not worried.
yeah.
But it
And
is something that you need to put in effort and need to look out for and find time to do that.
yeah,
So yeah, those are my like written down goals.
very nice. Well, I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember which one it was because it was like 2 weeks ago. And they were talking about um like New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, just like a bunch of, New Year's type theme.
Yeah.
And they kind of the person on the podcast kind of like was saying different like we dwell so much on goals and that kind of as much as goals are good for keeping like the ball moving type of thing, it a lot of times can like prevent you from living in the present, which I never really thought about.
Oh
And I
yeah.
thought that was like really cool to be like, oh, you can make all these goals, but that's just you trying to go from one thing to the next to the next to the next. And then what
Yeah.
happens after that when you're like, the present was no, like you get fit to the end of the year and the present was like, okay, what did I actually do? Like, I was just
Right.
too busy thinking about moving from one thing to the other because I wanted to reach my goals and feel accomplished. And then you're like, oh, but was I really present with like my
Yeah.
relationships or my family or whatever? So she kind of like framed the same questions but in different wording. So
Okay.
I kind of thought kind of like it kind of like triggered my brain as things do. And I was like, that's really interesting. So I'm gonna ask you, they kind of there's really two questions that have two parts, and it's really not complicated. But it might make you think of how you wrote the blog in a little different way. And maybe it
Okay.
will think maybe jog some things for you that you're like, oh, maybe that'd be really cool if I did. And it you didn't write it as a goal because it didn't have an end, but maybe it'd be something. So first thing would be what habits, like daily habits, are you bringing with you from 2023? So like what are some things you did in 2023 that you want to keep doing that you thought were positive?
Definitely the reading before bed
Okay.
and listening to everybody whenever I say this, they laugh at me because they think I'm stupid. But I read and I listen to the frequencies, the 3 hertz frequencies, because they apparently are stimulating your brain to go into the same brain waves that you go into when you are in deep sleep. So it's kind of triggering your brain getting ready for that deep sleep. So I read and I have the frequencies in my ears, and I do that every night before bed, or I started doing that like end of summer maybe. And I've been sleeping so good.
That's good.
And then I also notice if I've done it like two times where I didn't do the reading and the frequencies, but instead I was on my phone and I had a
Mhm.
bad night. So I
Yeah.
really
I
noticed
mean, the
it.
phone's been proven you should never do the phone. It's like the
I
number one addiction, but at the same time, like
know
it's been
it's
shown you're
yeah,
not
but
supposed to
you
do
know,
it.
it's just it's easy access.
It is. It's hard to
Um,
say no to it when it's like sitting right there.
yeah, and it's just, oh, one more video. Oh, one more video. And it's just 10 minutes go by, one more video. So it's just super easy and you fall into that. So I always um I kind of have a routine where I watch TikTok for like 10 minutes, whatever. And then I read and then I go to bed. So I always
That's
end
actually pretty
with
good.
reading. Yeah, no matter what. And I feel like that has really helped improve my sleep quality. And that is definitely something I'm taking into 2024.
There you go. All right, so actually, I should re-speak because each question has like three parts, but
Okay.
they're super simple. So the next part of this one would be what habits are you leaving in 2023? So what habits did you notice yourself doing that maybe you kind of want to stop because they have a negative impact on you?
Um, that is indeed a very good question. And I think that would be the procrastination of getting out of bed on the days that I don't have to get up at a certain time.
Hmm. That's a hard one.
It's so difficult. Like the bed is so comfortable, but then I wake up at a decent time and then I'm in bed an hour and a half later and I'm just like, damn, now I'm not feeling motivated to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to leave that behind. I want to give myself maybe 15 minutes to wake up and do whatever, but then I want to get moving to because in that hour and a half, I could have accomplished so much more.
Oh yeah. You can do so much in an hour and a half.
Yeah, and now I'm just wasting it by looking at TikToks or Instagram Reels or whatever it may be.
Yeah, just like pointless scrolling, basically.
Pointless scrolling just because I'm comfy.
Yeah.
So I think I want to allow myself to be comfortable and wake up like that for maybe 15 minutes and then just got to be strict with myself and be like, "Hey, I am getting up and getting moving."
There you go. Hey, that's a good one. And then the last part of like this one is what are some habits that you want to build in 2024?
What are some habits that I want to build in 2024? Um, that is a difficult one. And I honestly I haven't really thought about it. Maybe I so I've always said that I want to find more consistency with the gym. And I don't want to be making any excuses, but it's just been so difficult with all the traveling and all the like
Mhm.
different places that I where I stay and that when I'm finally home like I'm just so tired that I don't really want to go to the gym. Um but I do want to stay consistent. Okay, I'll say this. The times that I do go to the gym, I want to stay consistent with the cardio, with the running,
Okay.
so that that will be part of my workout regardless.
Okay. Nice. That's a good one. Especially because you want to hit a certain like kilometer. So that would
Yeah,
help you.
because I think it's just unrealistic to really be like, yeah, I want to do this amount of days or this day, and that day because I'm just all over the place right now and I don't
Yeah.
really have one place where I'm at and I don't have the same um like things available. I've told my parents like I would really want to take up ice skating, but only
Oh,
when I'm in a certain spot where I know like I can go to this ice rink to go ice skating, for example.
okay.
Because now if I do that, I could maybe go once a week, and that's just not,
Yeah, it's not worth the money almost.
no. So I want to do something like that, but only when I'm permanently in one place and I'm just
Yeah,
too all over.
that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So I think the
So
cardio would be a good one.
yeah, that's good because it also kind of weaves into like your other goal. So I think that's pretty solid. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of like move on to similar like breakdown, but kind of more theoretical almost.
Okay.
So what are some thoughts and situations that you want to leave in 2023?
I want to leave certain situations that I've came across with Michael in
Okay,
2023. We have
fair.
failed as of right now.
Hey, but you can always start. You can always start again.
Um, well, we also approached it differently.
Okay.
Um, because today he also texted and he was like, well, I just need this call to reset. And I was like, I think we're gonna have to talk this through
Yeah.
instead of ignoring it, basically
Mm-hmm.
resetting and then just waiting until we hit this spot again.
Yeah.
um so during our call today too, I was like, we are going to be working through this in our next few calls, um just basically to prevent that we're not hitting this spot again. So I feel like our
Yeah.
approach has been different, but I don't want to necessarily get back to those
That's fair.
conversations again and again.
Yeah, because just the frequency in which you were having these conversations, pretty negative ones, were too frequent, to say the
Way too
least.
frequent. And yes, it's hard doing a long distance relationship, but it's manageable, and it's a lot of growth is needed. And the thing is too, like, he just tends to fall back into his bad habits whenever.
Yeah.
So for him, he needs to figure out how to not fall back into those bad habits so that we can, or so that we don't fall back into having those conversations again and again, basically. So
Yeah.
those situations I wish to leave in 2023, but that is also not only controlled by me.
That's fair. Yeah. But maybe it's not really those situations. Like obviously you wish you could leave them all together, but like you said, it's how you approach these. So maybe you just want to leave the old approach and
Yeah,
make this new approach like hopefully it's a good normalizer or uh, something like that.
yeah.
So in the same way, what are some thoughts or situations that you had in 2023 that you want to continue in 2024?
You're hitting me with all these questions, and it's kind of difficult. So one thing that has come into my mind more often in 2023 is, and this is gonna sound probably stupid, but
No.
the immortality of us, of humans.
Okay.
Like, we only have an X amount of years on this planet that we are able to live,
Yeah.
and it could be over at any moment. Um, and what I've been thinking about more often is just that I want to appreciate the people around me. I want to realize that this is their only time and their first time living. So they're experiencing life for the first time, just like I am. And I want to appreciate as many moments as I can because you don't know how many you're going to have.
Very true.
Um,
Very true.
and it's funny because I really had this conversation with my parents the other day because my mom, she wants to go away for a couple of days during one of the holidays here. And my dad was like, no, why? And so I told him, I was like, you have to work most of your time.
Yeah.
And now you have the opportunity to take a few days off and go to a different country that you've never been to before and explore a part of the world that you've never been to before. And you have the money to do it and you have the time to do it. Why would you waste those few free days just sitting at home doing the same things that you always do?
Yeah.
That you only have one life with an X amount of years. Why not
Some people
take
are just
those few
homebodies.
days to enjoy a little more?
Yeah. I like to think though, this idea of traveling and seeing the world is a fairly new concept. Like, I think traditionally and genetically, we're ingrained. Like, people thought their whole world revolved around one little town,
Yeah,
and that was it. And only with the development of like trains and buses and planes, so on and so forth, that we can actually move around our world way more freely. And so I wonder if it's just some people are still more genetically inclined to be homebodies. They're like, I'm perfectly content staying in this house and doing nothing because I work all the time. Why would I want to be on the go?
yeah,
And I think it's really just this newer idea of we can travel. Why am I staying in one place? Like, why would I want to stay here when there's so much more out there to be seen, to be, things that you may never ever see again, type of thing.
right.
But I
And,
think that's like a new thing that's starting to come around because of all of our transportation opportunities.
and with how cheap some of the things are.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at when I went to London with my friend, um, we paid 50 euros to fly to London and back. Like, that is a train ticket from my city to Amsterdam and back. And that's
Yeah.
what I paid to fly to London. But the thing is with my dad, like he loves traveling, but he is very biased towards the United States. If he thinks of travel, he thinks of weeks in one like period. Like either I
Hmm.
go 3 weeks or I don't. So he's like, why would I fly to another country to just spend a few days? Well, because those few days feel like a week when you're out of it, you know? Like when I
Yeah, and
went
plus, who
to
knows when you're going to get the opportunity to go back?
exactly. And like my dad really and my mom too really want to go see Iceland or really want to go see Scotland. Well, Iceland is only a 3 hour flight. Scotland is only an hour flight for pretty cheap. So
Yeah,
why not take the opportunities that you have and use them to see those places if you really want to see them?
yeah, it's
Um,
true. It's true.
I feel like we should take a quick break because our meeting is also about to end, so we can start up a new one before we continue into the last part of that question.
Yeah, that works.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're going to stop this and then be right back with you all. Goodbye and see you soon. We're back, people. Hello.
Hello. We made it back.
We did barely, but
So we I'm gonna bring up the last question from Art because this is these questions have been putting her on the spot and made her think a little bit.
I know, I'm excited. I like thinking.
So the last question in keeping with the theme is what are some thoughts and situations that you want to build or manifest for 2024?
Thoughts or situations that I want to build or manifest for 2024. Does it have to be, or is it like related to anything?
No,
Just
whatever you
in
want.
general.
Yeah. Unless you want it to be related to something.
I mean, I don't know. I think what we kind of talked about that, like enjoying parts of life in different ways because of, the limited time basically that we have here, is definitely something I want to bring with me into this year. And kind of like you said, I want to really be in the present sometimes, because it's hard to forget about the things that are going on right now, and because we're so focused of in what we want to happen in the future.
Mhm.
um, like I feel like as humans we tend to always look ahead, like, oh, this is to come, oh, this is about to happen.
I think that's just how we've inadvertently been trained.
Kind of, especially with the job world, it's like you're always working towards something.
The pressure to hit the next level, to hit the next stage, to take the next step, like that we did that to ourselves.
We did. I mean, look
And
at us. Like we're planning ahead of what we're gonna do in February, what we're gonna do in March, and
yeah,
without really being like, okay, yeah, but we first have January. But in order to have February and March ready, we need to think about that way ahead. Because otherwise we're gonna get to February and we're gonna be like, well, what are we doing?
yeah, it's we definitely, put that on ourselves, and I think that's what brings about a lot of the stress and anxiety and negativity into our world is, you know, that idea that we have to be one better, we have to do this, we have to do that. And in reality, to be one better, for most people, it's to take a step back.
Yeah.
And that equation doesn't compute because we're
No,
too worried.
because we feel like if we take that step back, we won't be able to take that step forward,
Yeah.
which in reality, like, I mean, if you kind of look at it, if I want to start a PhD in August, let's say, whenever I graduate, I would have to start applying in April.
Yeah.
So I could not choose in August, like, yeah, I want to start a PhD right now. No, I'm way late.
I mean, that's how it is. Like, Paige started looking at PhDs probably in like October. We started really talking about it. September, October. And the most of the deadlines are February and March. And she's had to not only do applications, she's had to do the GRE because no one doesn't require it, but most schools do. She's having to take it twice because she crammed the first time and kind of messed up on a section. So she's having to take it again. And she's having to do all these meetings and she's having to make sure the applications are in and she's all before February,
Yeah,
just so she can start in August. And I was like, nah. Like
that's insane.
I could do that. Sure. Can I take a standardized test? Yeah, probably. Would I pass? hopefully. But like, why would I put all that on me now when, yeah, is that going to help me get ahead? Maybe, probably, maybe not. Who knows? Depends how I go, how I get there. But that in society, we're like, we have to take that next step. We have to just do it. We have to just, put as much stress on us because in the end, it's going to be worth it. But how do you know? Like, you got to do what's good
Right.
for you now. And a lot of times that's giving yourself
Yeah.
an extra
But the
extra
thing
time.
is, I don't know if a PhD is going to be what's good for me, but
Exactly.
I won't be able to wait till that moment because it will be too late. By the
But Lily,
time,
that's the question. Is it really too late?
I mean, to start then, yes, I would
You
have.
can start a PhD when you're 70.
Well, yeah, but if I want to go straight from school into a PhD, I would have to start applying in April.
Yeah. I mean, you've already basically told yourself you're taking at least 1 year because you're not proactively doing applications.
Well, if I would apply in April, I would be able to start if I was accepted in August. So that would be straight after graduation. Because I don't graduate until August.
Yeah. So you guys
But
don't have the same bullshit behind the scenes work we have to do?
you do need like your resume, um, letter of motivation, like that kind of stuff. But
That stuff
not
seems
the
like
GRE.
we have to take GRE. I know there's some places, no, like in the UK and even here, not so much here, very rare here, but I know in Europe there's quite a few where you have to have your entire or proposal ready. Like
Yeah, it
it's your
depends.
acceptance
It
off of
depends on the position. Because if it's like an open position where you can apply with your proposal, then yes. But some positions here are already they're funded, they have
so you just
already
basically
selected the,
join a team
yeah.
and do whatever. Oh, that's gross.
So it depends on what position you apply for. But if I was gonna apply for an open position, I would have to do an entire research proposal. Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that forces me to think 3 steps ahead, even though it might not be what I need or want at that time.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not doing that.
Um, but it's the same with the police academy. Like they say, the admittance process is taking 8 months. So,
Like to get in, to like fully figure out if you're in.
yeah,
Yeah, but you find out way faster if you're not in.
yeah. But it could also be that you pass everything and then at the end you have a
Yeah.
medical examination and something's wrong with you and you're out. So you just wasted 6 months of assessments on.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, like they have set dates for this, and if you're not able to attend 5 months from now, you're out.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but
Wow. The world we live in.
yeah, I guess so. But I think I just want to stay as optimistic as I can this year. Um, and I don't know, just going with whatever life throws at me instead of wanting to plan everything from start to finish. Because I'm still kind of that person who wants to know exactly what's going to happen after something ends, but I want to be okay with not knowing what happens.
That's fair. I don't think you can ever truly plan everything, and if you do, you're gonna be very disappointed.
Yes, I can speak from experience that that is the case. Multiple times I've had that happen. So I am done with planning. And of course, you got to plan in some ways, but for the most part, I'm just gonna see what happens and what life throws at me, and then go from there.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. So those were the questions.
Those were my questions.
Well, I appreciated them. They were pretty insightful. Um, and I put myself out there.
they they weren't like super hard questions, but they're normally questions that you don't see phrased that way.
Yeah, totally. And it's something you don't really think about as often.
Yeah, because everyone's like, "Oh, write goals, write goals, write goals," but like, why are we writing goals when in reality we should be evaluating a lifestyle?
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to keep you present and move
Yeah.
forward.
And it's gonna help you reach those goals. Because, like, if my goal is running 7K, but I don't make any changes into what I do on a day-to-day basis when it comes to like fitness, I'm never going to be able to run a 7K.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you have a specific goal like that, it's important to know what steps you need to take and what smaller goals you need to have as like little milestones in between to reach that end goal.
I would agree.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Dude, I'm so tired now. I'm like zoning out.
That's okay. It's I haven't noticed at all. It's also been a good mental episode, so
Now you're gonna sleep because you're gonna be tired.
I am gonna sleep. I mean it's 9:50-ish, so I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Yeah. Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap this all about Marit episode up.
I think so. I hope you all enjoyed it and learned a little bit about me. And if you didn't enjoy it, I am very sorry.
You're just not interesting enough, obviously.
I guess.
All right,
Next week
and
will be all about you.
I
So
won't be much more exciting. So,
a
hopefully I'll
lot more exciting.
hopefully I'll feel better. So, see.
I'm sure you will. Just keep sleeping, keep hydrating, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. So, with that note, thank you for joining us as we offer a glimpse into the world of true friendship, where even though worlds may seem apart, the connection remains strong. As
Yeah.
always, if you liked this episode and liked getting to know Marit, give us a like, comment, and follow.
Yeah. And we'll see you out there.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.